Hi, my name's Cliff, and I want to take you on a little historical journey of my build of this foosball table. Yes, there's a foosball table underneath there that I built in 1999 originally to replace an older foosball table that we had purchased like way back in the late 80s. So I built the foosball table in '99, and then it was sitting here and thought it'd be nice if it had a tabletop on it so we could use it as a table when we weren't playing. So I built this tabletop in 2015, so 16 years later. And this tabletop, we used to take it off to roll it forward onto against the wall, but that's pretty cumbersome and tough to do. So now I installed a hoist, which I'll show you in a moment, that we can use to lift this table off. One of the things that, because this has went on for such a long time, 1999, my daughter Julia was only 6 months old. My son Devin had just turned 2, and we had only been married for 8 years. My wife and I, Lisa, had only been married for 8 years, and now here we are in 2026 and just finished the hoist, and things are still going on. So maybe there'll be some other improvements in the future. I'm really hoping one of my kids takes this foosball table after I'm gone. So I'll show you how the tabletop lifts off here. There's an eye bolt, a lifting bolt that goes in the center here. Said I just finished this, drilled a hole in the center and put a threaded plate under that. We'll look at it. Also, for the 99, for the stuff that I did in 99, I will be able to show you some pictures of that because we do have this handy photo album that I just found that has some pictures. Because yes, back in '99. 9 years before the iPhone was invented, you had to actually take pictures and print them out. So I'll have to scan some of those in to put them in this video. But in any case, switch is on, so we should be able to bring our hoist down. I'll show you some pictures of that too and how that was done eventually. I'll show you how we'll put this on right now. Just take the slack out of that. Also, to keep things steady once it's up, because there's lights under it, we don't want those waving around. Matter of fact, I'll turn the lights on so you'll be able to see a little better as it comes up. Just got a plug on that. I can control that up from my phone. Of course, I can't show you that because I'm videoing from the phone. But these are like stabilizer pads. So when it goes up against the ceiling, it'll hold it stable so that it doesn't, so that the light doesn't move around that you use to play with. So, and again, this remote, we should be able to just pick it up to the ceiling. See, there's a light under there. It just goes against the ceiling, and that pulls it tight so that it doesn't move around because you don't want the lights moving when you're playing. Tried to center the lights so that we'd be able to, you wouldn't be leaning over and have a shadow from your head, so the lights would be able to come in and be able to light the table pretty well. This is a cord that gets pulled up with it. I put a couple little, tacks here so we can tuck this out of the way so nobody trips on it or anything if somebody walks back here. So that gives you an idea how that works. Like I said, 1999, 2015, 9 of 2015. So I'll put some pictures in there. I think I have some pictures of when I built each one of these 3 parts, but it's been going on for 27 years. So, and then we'll put, I guess I'll put it back down here so you can see that, how that process goes. Got to kind of remember to take that cord off because I don't know what will happen if I let it down. That cord was still on there. But we can just let this down. Should be able to kind of center it up. It finds its own way. I'll do some pictures of that, but that's it. It's on. Unhook this, and we can set that back up into the ceiling for storage. And that's that. Easy as that. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and thanks. This is a drawing I did to create the tabletop. Originally, actually, all the dimensions and stuff are on here for tabletop. I've frozen them off to simplify it, but then I later modified it so I could see how the hoist would fit in to the room. I can give you an idea of how that looks here. So here we're over top of the room. You can see that's that can light right there that I'm trying to work around. This is the blocking that I put up in the ceiling through that hole in the ceiling, to hold the hoist. This white box here represents the hoist, and you can actually see the cable going down through the ceiling. The hoist did come out very close to the top of to one of the joists. So I actually had to rotate the hoist around 180 degrees from what I originally had planned to make it work. But that gives you an idea how it works, how the cable comes down through the ceiling, through that hatch, and attaches to the tabletop. Take some more of this out of the way so we can see what's going on here. Carpet out. So again, you can see shows you the hatch at the top where the hoist is up in that blocking that I put up in there. Everything's overbuilt. I made this block so it lays on top of the other one, so I was able to adjust and slide this around before I locked it down. We found the exact center of mass of the table so that it would lift up level. That all worked out really well. Everything is overbuilt. This tabletop probably weighs less than 100 pounds, and everything on here is rated to lift 10 times that. Can actually shut off the foosball table itself here, and you can see underneath I put in the the foosball men so we can see a representation of where they're going to go so they wouldn't conflict with that steel plate. The steel plate was meant to distribute the force so that it wasn't all pulling in one place right there and potentially warping the top if it was hanging from the ceiling for a long time. And of course the light strips went on each one of these ribs, and those are placed to land in between the foosball men so that when we bring the tabletop down, it won't break the lights on any of their heads and that type of thing. That gives you an idea of how all that lays out. And everything worked out really good. I'm really happy with it. Seems very strong. I have no worries about this table moving or having any issues. I would be completely confident to leave that on the ceiling for months.